Okay, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel, all newbies and passers-by, and that was illegal. Welcome back to subscribers and current and constant visitors of the channel. Today we are doing a motorcycle movie review, and if you are unfamiliar with the fact that that car has gas, if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's me riding around on a motorcycle while reviewing a movie, trying to call back as much information about the movie as possible and not dying. So, if this does not interest you, go ahead and check out some of the other content on the channel right around over there somewhere. And I will catch you later. If you so choose to stay, let's get into it. But first, today's movie review is brought to you by me. Who else? What do you think? I had a sponsor? Get out of here. You crazy? Nobody's sponsoring this crap. I made an intro, and I took 10 seconds of your life. You never get it back. It's mine now. So, Bloodshot. Sony Pictures movie, starring Vin Diesel. If you're a Vin Diesel fan, it is very Vin Diesel-y, if you will. It is not so much Saving Private Ryan or Groot or Iron Giant type Vin Diesel, and not as much Fast and Furious Vin Diesel. It's more like pitch black Vin Diesel with a smidge of Fast and Furious Vin Diesel. It's about a soldier who is posthumously brought back and engineered to become a super soldier / weapon based off a comic series. Did not read the comic, we're talking about the movie, and before I get into it, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7. It's a 7-ish movie. I'm a Vin Diesel fan. I like Vin Diesel. I believe it was well acted on his part, and the other characters did a good job as well, especially once you figure out how the movie's structured. It got kind of battered on Rotten Tomatoes. They took a hit, but general audience gave it about 84%. So, Bloodshot starts off pretty much standard action, you know, good guy, bad guy movie. Vin Diesel, who plays Ray Garrison, is an army soldier. Wikipedia says Marine, but he is guaranteed Army by the ACUs. The saying from the 1st Battalion, it just, you know, some inconsistencies there, but whatever. So he is a soldier. He is breaching a building in Mombasa, Kenya, in some rundown shanty. He knocks on the door, and they immediately just lace the door with bullets. Like, it could have been Hungry Howie's, it could have been like Jimmy John's. Like, they didn't care. They just, as soon as the door knocked, they just start shooting this joint up. He, of course, the customary, I'm gonna go in without my team. The team says halt on the breach. He says, yeah, confirmed, breaching. They're like, no, jackass, we said halt on the breach. Do not breach. But he does it anyway. Throws in a flashbang, very dramatic. Takes out the bad guys on the 1st floor. Very quickly gets up to the 2nd floor, takes out another handful of bad guys, and then you come to the hostage negotiation situation. So there is a hostage sitting in a chair plainly with a shotgun to the back of his head. Of course, main bad guy goon number 1 in this movie. There's a bunch of goons in this movie. You want to start off with goon number 1. Main guy's like, I need a helicopter right now. Drop your gun, all this other stuff. So Vin Diesel, Ray, drops his weapon. He puts it on the floor. Of course, he has his service pistol holstered on his right side. The guy's like, I need this, I need that. He's making his demands, and he said, all right, well, tell me where the phone is. He shows him where the phone is. He says, I don't see it. And the guy looks away and, of course, points to the phone with the weapon that is currently in his hand, therefore taking it from the back of the hostage's head. And Vin Diesel proceeds to lay him down, 2 to the body, 1 to the dome. Cool. But in the meantime, Vin Diesel was shot. You're like, oh, crap, okay, this is where it happens. He get dead. Nope. Didn't get dead. He went home. He returned home, which is freaking crazy. Mission was over, and they landed in Aviano, Italy, on an Air Force C-135. As far as I could tell, I didn't know if it was a C-5 or whatever. I watched it too fast. But one of our planes, hooray! And then, of course, he is meeting. Good God, need to meet a diction coach. He is met by his lovely wife on the flight line, which is not going to happen. Sorry, no civilian vehicles on the flight line unless there's a ceremony. They needed a military coordinator for this movie. I think they kind of missed the mark on that, but not a lot of people pay attention to that except dorks like me. So, wife meets him on the flight line. They drive away into the sunset. As he walks off, before they get into the car, he takes off his ACU shirt. He's just got an A shirt. Wife beater, if you will. Drops his ACU shirt on the flight line. One, that's fine. You're an idiot. And nobody would disrespect the uniform like that. At least they shouldn't. Anyway, this is just stuff that tweaks my nips about this movie. So, of course, they go home and they enjoy themselves because he's back from his mission, and they do the grown-up. Very short scene, very glad, because I don't think, like, I hate sex scenes in action movies. They piss me off. Like, look, this is an action movie. I'm trying to see some action. Not that action, but some action. Anyway, that scene's short. They fall asleep. He wakes up the next day. The wife's left a note. She's gone to go get snacks at breakfast and all that kind of breakfast in bed type stuff. He gets up to do his morning routine. They are still in Italy, by the way. And he hears footsteps. Then is fairly cautious of the noise. He calls out for his wife. It's not her. Goons! Random goons show up, start to give him the can of whoop ass, but he, of course, turns the tables on them very quickly. And he one-hands them both. Like, they're trying to stab him, trying to take him down. He gives them the whoop sauce. They're done with. One guy, he stabs the one guy with the same needle they're trying to stab him with. They're trying to knock him out. And his arm goes numb. He tries to punch him with the numb arm. And then Vin Diesel just one-hands him head down into a toilet. Pretty comical. Pretty awesome. He steps out the hallway, bumps into a random guy who happens to be Toby Kebbell, another one of my favorite actors. He's really good guys in Rock and Rolla. He played the motion capture for Kong in Kong Skull Island. He was also in Kong Skull Island, Prince of Persia. This goes on. Bumps into him, of course, you know he is a main character. Vin Diesel starts to get the Bambi leg. He falls down. Toby Kebbell says, oh no, what's the matter? He's holding the needle with the whatever solution that was in it to knock him out. Flash forward, Vin Diesel wakes up in a warehouse type situation, as most action type movies are. They're going to start to interrogate him, and then they bring in the wife, of course, who they've captured sometime during their adventures while bringing him back. And then he's saying, hey, I ain't got no answers for you. I will tell you if I knew. Same customary dialogue that you can expect. It's a fairly predictable movie, but they do it well. And you know, they threaten to kill the wife and all this other stuff. And then, but the great part about this scene is the dance. The dude, Toby Kebbell, plays Martin X. He jumps in, puts on his like fur coat and some slippers, and dances in the whole scene. It is freaking awesome. You got to see the movie. I enjoyed it. Of course, Vin Diesel plays the part of a soldier. He's like, I can't tell you anything because I don't know anything. They point me, I follow orders, good to go. Pretty much standard. I don't know what people think about the military, but soldiers really don't know too much other than do what they're told. Higher-ups are at home telling us what to do. Airmen and soldiers. Anywho, they feign killing the wife. They're going to do it, but he takes the thing away from her head, and then he whips it out again. It's the freaking cowpuncher, the stunner tool, the bolt thing. Same weapon of choice by Javier Bardem in Old Country for No Man, by the way. And boop, she got dead. She done. I was like, what the? Damn, he killed her anyway. So, of course, Vin Diesel, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do this. You should kill me now. And they were like, okay. She shoots him in the head. Done. He got dead. That's it for him. He done. So this is where his story starts, right? So he wakes up unknown amount of time later, all white, on a bed, very high-tech facility, and then of course, always some gorgeous lady walks in and says, hey, you know, this is happening to you, let me help you. He gets up, falls out. He was already on a table. He passes out from getting up, and then they put him on another table. These the inconsistencies, but it's still a good movie. Dr. Harton shows up, played awesomely by Guy Pearce, another good actor. You don't know who he is, need to check out Time Machine, Count of Monte Cristo, Iron Man 3, Memento. Like, Guy Pearce is awesome. So he plays Dr. Harton, and they start to explain to him, you're a soldier, you died. Vin Diesel is having trouble reconciling this information. And KT is played by Itza Gonzalez, she was in Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw. She was also a bad guy villain on Alita Battle Angel. Mexican actress, pretty cute. She's, you know, saying, hey, my name's Katie, KT, and he calls her Katie. She knows no initials KT. She gives him the whole spiel, along with the doctor saying he died. They give you the customary, give me your name, rank, serial number, which nobody says anymore. And he goes, my name, my rank, serial. He can't remember anything about himself, and then of course they give him the briefing and they tell him what's going on, and they give him the the grand tour of the facility. They tell them what they are. They're a biotech company. They enhance people who are injured. he can start a new life, and then they take him around the facility, introducing him to his new co-workers slash team. So they meet up with Tibbs. Tibbs is pretty awesome. Sniper. He got his vision jacked up by an IED or some type of explosive. I forget the details. And they outfitted him with like some ocular prosthetics. He's got a bodysuit where he can see everything now, although he's actually blinded. And then you get freaking Jimmy? Is it Jimmy? I forgot. He's main douche number 1. Let's just go that guy. He's a butthole. And Timmy. His name's Jimmy. Dalton. So Dalton is part of. He said he was part of SEAL Team 6. He lost both legs in an explosive accident as well. And they outfitted him with some prosthetic robotic legs, and he's pretty much a badass, but he's just got some chip on his shoulder. He really doesn't like Vin Diesel's character. And then, of course, KT was a Navy swimmer. What's up, big truck? And she was injured in a gas attack. She has a esophageal laryngeal aperture that allows her to breathe through her neck, which is freaking crazy. She's like some kind of mermaid or some crap. And they're all somewhat bioengineered and bioenhanced with electronics and all this other crap. And then Dr. Hart himself, Guy Pearce, has a prosthetic metal arm, which is freaking awesome. So they go through all the spiel. He's like, I'm out. I'm gonna go lay down because this is like a dream. Goes to lay down. Of course, he's having the night terrors, reliving all the things that happened to him and his wife. Wakes up in the middle of the night, goes to the gym, tries to work out, punches through a punching bag, and then he's starting to discover his strength and powers and all this other stuff. Short montage. They run through. He starts to punch a building support. Like, what? Bruh. Even though you're strong, don't knock down the building. You're in the building. So he starts freehanding like 100-pound dumbbells like it's crazy. Then he sits down, takes a break, sees KT in the pool doing her kata, which is a martial arts form, underwater because she was a Navy swimmer, and they got to highlight what she does. They do it in all movies. They try to give you a little background about highlighting a person's skills. Is that gravel? Nope, just black. And she brings him a coin that she got awarded by a team when she was in the Navy. She gives it to him as a symbol of hope. You can start a new life kind of deal. And then they're going to go get some drinks and sit down at the bar. The song that played while the murderer murdered his wife came on the radio, and then he loses his mind. He freaking checks out. Starts to remember that his wife was murdered. Oh, and before this, he asks, how come I can't remember anything about myself or my life? She goes, it's because of what you did and who you are. Everything about you is classified. I get that. Your memories ain't classified, lady. Like, that part of the story, I didn't understand. That they should have just glanced over that line in the writer's room. Like, how do you classify a memory? That didn't make any sense. They wiped his memories. So he starts to flip out, punches through the table, goes off into a vendetta mission, and it, of course, starts to make use of his skills. Now, during the beginning part of the movie, when they were giving him the grand tour, Dr. Hart and Guy Pearce decided to take a scalpel and slice open his hands and show him what he was all about. What? You mean you could have been a little patient there, dust mite? And, of course, his blood is filled with nanites, and then KT goes to explain it's not filled with nanites. Nanites are your blood. Microscopic robots, tiny boys, that rebuild his cellular structure anytime he's damaged or hurt. Pretty cool. This movie is very CG heavy, but it's done pretty well except for a few parts. So they show the nanites, fast forward back to him using the nanites to get out of the facility, track down the killer. He jumps in this truck. The doctor starts talking to him. He's trying to figure out how he's talking to him because he's talking through the nanites who have radio frequency. And, okay, so pretty cool. Running through all the scenarios, he's got to the hangar. He steals a Gulfstream, which he pulls up to the hangar, leaves the doors partially closed, and boards the plane. How the hell you getting the plane out? Like, be consistent. Open the doors. So he steals the Gulfstream, flies to the location of Martin X. Now, Martin X, Toby Kebbell, shows up. He's walking out of a hotel. He's guarded by armed men, looking very meek, very shy, very timid. I'm like, what happened to the badass that killed this dude's wife? Why is he looking so skirt? He jumps into his convoy, and of course Vin Diesel is tracking the convoy by using the nanites to ping every single car in the area via their GPS, and then tracking the ones that are moving in a formation. Very nifty, very neat, very military. Cool. They pull off They're going down their various escape routes, and then they pull into, this is precarious, low speed, they pull into a tunnel, and of course this is where their doom is going to begin. There is a large semi-truck that pulls into the tunnel and crashes immediately. It's a truck filled with flour, so of course when the truck crashes, there's debris and flour and low visibility. And then Vin Diesel just walks up, starts taking out people in the convoy, and then they just shoot him. Done. He's down. I'm like, okay, what? Of course he's feigning death because he knows he can't really be hurt by these guys. And they're going to clear the rest of the area thinking that there's a team of people. Good God, this truck is kicking out some stank. I don't know if you can see it, but it was popping out bluish or white smoke, probably burning oil, and it's going straight to my nostrils. Anyway, he's taking these dudes out, and they think there's a crew. They take him down. He gets up, of course, after a lot of them have passed him, and he starts taking them out from behind, and he's just wrecking the crew. It's like 16, 17 dudes. And of course, he is throwing all caution to the wind because they're actually getting some good licks in. These are mercenaries. They're taking some good shots. They're shooting him. They're lacing him up, stabbing him, and he's just throwing people left and right through cars. He's beating them with car doors. It's a pretty good scene. And at one point, he so they're getting a kind of upper hand on him. They throw a grenade. They blow him back into the truck, and I swear to God, he kills a dude. I don't know if he died, but I'm gonna say he died. He kills a dude with a freaking bag of flour. He threw the flour so hard that it just blew up and just took this guy out. And then he starts this crazy slow-mo scene. It was a little too long for my taste, but it was still kind of well done. He beats the crap out of these dudes in slow-mo while running through the flour, lots of dust. And his chest starts to glow because the nanites are kicking up a crazy amount of energy and heat, and it just looks cool. And then, like, one of the culminating moves is where he just fucking double kicks this dude into oblivion. Like, he folds him up like a piece of paper. And then, of course, the last vehicle with a driver and the main mercenary with Toby Kebbell in it. He takes it, picks up a guy, pops a grenade on his chest, holds him up to the window, blows him up, gets through the bulletproof glass, of course, and then kills everybody in the vehicle while taking a gunshot shot to the face. Blew off the side of his face. Pretty well done CG. Floats off, it kind of reforms itself, and then he kills everybody while Toby Kebbell was trying to explain that he was making a mistake. And it's like, yeah, thanks. Dead. He gets back to the airfield where he landed the plane. Both, all three, KT, Tibbs, and Jimmy are there to retrieve him. And Jimmy's still just being a douche. I really don't know why. It's just like he's such a hater. He's just like one of those people. They return him to the facility. He is now kind of complacent with himself, but they need to recharge him on the table. He lays down on the table. Jimmy comes in, saps him, knocks him straight down. He didn't knock him out. He just incapacitated him. And then he goes to explain while sticking a piece of gum to the bottom of the table. Super gross. As you see, the camera pans down, there's like 8, 9 pieces of gum. Holy crap, you start to figure out that he's been doing this a couple times. He's explaining to him, hey, you're just a button that we push for revenge. We wind you up and let you go, and we reset you every time. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So it's like Groundhog Day, or actually it's like 51st days for assassins. That's a pretty apt description. So he's still being a douche, and he just reboots Ray. Done. There's another mission. So during the time where Toby Kebbell's character was about to get dead, he called another individual, and that individual was a developer who used to work with Dr. Harton at RST, the company that controls the tech that controls Vin Diesel's character Ray. Now you're figuring out that Vin Diesel's not really the good guy. He's a weapon that's being used to take out the people that quit RST that Dr. Harton no longer gets along with. Crazy. His whole tech team, Eric, which is like the partial comedy relief, pretty funny dude, they're rebuilding this environment around each mission. And then they go back as far as to when I started in the movie, him entering the scene in Mombasa, which is crazy because now you're like, when did he actually die if the entire experience was illegitimate? It's hard to tell when he died, and you're like, holy crap. Now you're like, oh, is the wife really dead? You're like, does he even have a wife? Makes you speculate. Kind of cool, like the way they played it. they reset the scene and they redo every single aspect except they change the guy's face to his other partner's face, who is Dainese is his name in the movie. I don't know his real name. Is a Swedish name. It's very hard to pronounce. And so of course this all plays over again. What is happening right now? I'm sorry guys, but that looked really that truck pulled in behind that little SUV there and wasn't letting them back out. I thought it was going to be some friction. I don't want to be involved in that flim flam. So Daines's face is placed over as the next target, and everything that I just said, just repeat to yourself with the new guy's face. They replay the entire thing, which, I mean, it took up a little bit of time, but they kind of sped to the point and got to it. So during the meantime, Dainese, because he got that call from Martin X, Toby Kebbell's character, has made plans. He now has a guy on his team that is another bit of comedy relief. His name is Wiggins. He comes into the scene just a few minutes. So Vin Diesel, of course, shows up on the next target's doorstep. They know he's coming. He feigns death once again. They lay him down. They shoot him. They bring him into the compound. Very stupid, especially since they know what this guy is capable of. And then, of course, he wakes up, but then by now RST's tech guy Eric has hacked some of their internal cameras because he's can hack anything, one of those kind of guys, right? And he sees another character show up, played by Lamorne Morris. Very funny dude, black guy. He's on a bunch of stuff. Can't think of them right now, but he is the second part of the comedy relief in this movie, and between himself and the guy that plays Eric makes the movie much more enjoyable. Now, during this scene, when he was trying to get now he, meaning Dr. Harton, was trying to get Vin Diesel to attack the new guy, they were thinking of new scenarios, and the movie does make fun of itself quite a bit, because they said, no, we're not using any more of your ideas. We've already bit off every movie cliche in history, which is pretty funny. I like a movie that can make fun of itself. They don't try to take themselves too seriously. It's pretty good. Anyway, Lamorne shows up, and he's got, an EMP, very predictable, and then Eric, the tech guy, sees it, and he goes, holy crap, it's a freaking EMP, and he tries to explain what it is. Dr. Harton's like, I know what an EMP is, and he goes, well, just shut it down. He's like, I can't, this guy's so smart. He's so smart that I used some of his open source code in the program that we're using to run Ray. Like, as a tech guy, that is freaking hilarious, because Dr. Harton goes, you used open source programming in my $1 billion project. You got to be a techie to kind of, whatever. So, it's pretty funny. So the guy on Daines's team is comparable and smarter than Eric, who is on Dr. Harton's team. So he's trying to show Dainese how to use the EMP, and he's just basically being a butthole about it. The dude's pretty funny, Wiggins, and he can't do it. But the thing is, Wiggins set this up so he could use the EMP himself. The button that Dainese pushes does nothing. Wiggins gets back to his bunker where he's safe in the basement, because they lock him up for some reason, even though he's on their team, and waits for the timer to count down and for the thing to charge up to 100%, and then he boops Vin Diesel. Boop, done. Knocks him out, but it's after he's killed all the bad guys, of course. And then he wakes him up and tells him the story about what's been going on, and that he's a weapon and all this other stuff, and then Vin Diesel starts to remember certain things. And of course he wants to go on a revenge mission against Dr. Harton. Lamorne Morris' character Wiggins tells him, don't use any digital stuff, they'll track you. They can still track the nanites even though they can't control him right now. If they get him back, they're just going to reboot him, and then they're going to send them after him to kill him, because now he knows too much, which makes sense. In the meantime, KT and everybody is aware that he's gone under, and Harton is sending them to find him. KT, of course, is for this because she's tired of the whole program. She wants him to be free. She's sick of this crap. And it gets, pretty much the same story back and forth. He goes and finds an analog vehicle. Wiggins gives him keys to an old classic and a normal cell phone so he can make calls. And then he's like, I wonder if my wife actually died. Holy crap. Now we're back to that. He goes to find the wife in London, like in England. She's in England. He goes to find her. She opens the door. She's like, hey, like they just old buddies. Gives her a hug, say, how you doing? He's like, I'm home. She's like, great, what's up? Like, they divorced amicably a few years ago. He found out that she hadn't seen him in 5 years. This many. He thought she was dead. So, they never really explained how or when he died, but that's crazy. She, of course, has a new family, started a new life, has a husband and 2 kids. He was like, man, what doesn't happen over here? This is the whole not get dead part. Okay, didn't get dead.
Battery level is low.
Now, so this plays out. They ended up finding him, Tibbs and of course Jimmy. They track him down, and KT is of course sent on another mission to go get Wiggins because now he knows too much. She has to kill him while Tibbs and Jimmy are tracking down Ray. Of course, she's not going to kill him. She ends up finding him. She knocks him out, takes him from the guards that he now has somehow. I don't know where he got money or guards from, but whatever. And she recruits him to be on their team to abscond with Ray later in the movie. And of course, this is what they do. Ray is chased down by Tibbs and Jimmy. Long fight scene ensues, and then they, of course, capture him and bring him back. And then Eric tries to reprogram him, not knowing the whole time that Wiggins is outside in the van. And KT has brought in a device which allows Wiggins to hack RST servers. Of course, why not? He takes over. They release Ray from his confines. He still has all his memories because Hardin was not able to reprogram him in time. And then he goes on a rampage, and then they start blowing up stuff and fighting it all over. This gets pretty repetitive right around here, but it's still action-packed. It's not a lot much to describe. But Tibbs and Jimmy now have augmented gear. I don't know if they had it the whole time, but Jimmy's got some crazy stuff. He's got like an almost Dr. Octopus-like harness. He's got a back harness that gives him 2 extra arms, which he controls with his mind, of course. And then as Ray is trying to escape the building and go through and deal with all this other stuff, you find out that he's got the cowpuncher thing in one of his arms. He goes, yeah, that was my idea. I'm like, what a dick. Like, why are you, like, they don't have any other relationship that I know of. I just don't get why he's such a douche. He's got to be jealous because Ray's, like, awesome and he's less awesome. Like, he's still pretty cool. Either way. Now, they fight. Tibbs shows up because he's, you know, can see everything. He's looking at every surveillance camera in the building simultaneously. That looks slightly ominous that they're cloud. And they show up, they knock each other to the elevator. The elevator starts to fall, of course. Tibbs jumps down, and they're both kind of attacking Ray, taking him out. All this other stuff's going on. You know, not too bad. Then Ray gets the upper hand on them, of course. And then the elevator starts to fall. Now, Jimmy's the guy with the robot arms. Tibbs is just a normal dude with an eyeball suit. Tibbs starts to fall while Ray's falling. And then Jimmy's like, "Ew, I told you to hold on." And he snaps the elevator cable. Like, you killed your own boy just to kill this guy like that? You're not a good guy, sir. So, of course, Tibbs got dead. He done. Ray, of course, gets up, runs up the falling elevator, and then just gives freaking Jimmy the smackdown. Now, this part is very, very, very CG heavy. I'm a fan of practical effects myself, but they did it well, but you can tell. It was almost like that fight scene in The Matrix when they had all the Mr. Smiths, like Agent Smiths. It was almost too much. This was much better done to me, in my opinion. So, of course, Ray wins. They fall down. Dr. Hardin has now made it to the street. Like it did. Dr. Hardin has now made it to the street and is trying to escape. And then Ray chucks Jimmy's arm through the car. It's freaking hilarious. Of course, Dr. Hardin tries to stop Ray with his robot arm. I forgot to tell you, his robot arm controls a lot of stuff, but since it has been hacked by Wiggins, it doesn't do too much anymore. But he can still see the readings of Ray's nanite levels. He knows Ray's running low, so he just starts chucking explosive rounds at him, like grenade launcher style, you know, just chucking them. And then one Vin Diesel kind of takes. The second one he pulls apart and disintegrates midair, but he keeps the actual, I don't know what the centerpiece is called, the actual explosive, and holds it. Dr. Hardin did not know this. He walks up to him and says, "Oh yeah, you're out of nanites now. All that's left is Ray Grierson." He's talking all this crap, grabs him by the neck with the metal arm, giving him the choke sauce. And then Ray says that's all that's needed, opens his hand, boom goes the dynamite. Everybody dead. He kills Dr. Hardin. He kills himself because only Ray is left because he's used up all the nanites. And that was pretty freaking awesome. But then boom, Ray wakes up on the scene right after this one with all of his memories, able to recognize Wiggins because Wiggins was freaking out because they thought they had to reboot him and erase him again, and he was going to wake up and start murdering people, which he did not. Wiggins has said, "Hey, I gave you an improvement. I increased your nanite capacity so you don't run out of energy anymore, and you don't have to deal with that crap. And then him and KT go on a mission to live out their lives happy ever after. Movie turns, of course, they're going to go do good guy stuff and be heroes with Wiggins as their point man. So, not a bad flick. I ran through a bit of it quite quickly, but it's an action movie. You got to kind of watch it to get the gist of it. It's not something I can explain extremely in depth, although I think I did an okay job. 7. Solid 7. Vin Diesel played the role of a confused person about his abilities very well when he woke up. And then if you go back and look at some of the scenes with Guy Pearce, you could see that he was acting as if he was acting when he was running through the script to keep Ray from going off and killing people, although he wanted Ray to go off and kill people. It was, if you pay attention to those little details, the movie seems that much better to me, because you can see that Guy Pearce was running off a script and acting like a guy who was acting. It's awesome. His part. So, 7 out of 10. Go check it out. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys later. Should have some more content coming up soon. I think I got some goodies in the mail, but that's the topic for another video. Catch you guys later.